So welcome everybody. It's been, my gosh, it's been 2 months, I think, since we got together. And some of you might know already, but I had an accident 2 months ago and I broke my kneecap. So I've been in a cast, I'm still in my cast, and I'm gonna be doing the chair yoga with you. And I just wanted you to know that like everything I'm doing for rehab for this broken knee is everything we do in chair yoga. So it's been amazing, you know, to know this in theory and to teach it from a theoretical place is one thing, but then to actually have suffered an injury like this and to be teaching this from my real experience right now has been really, really interesting. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Plus, when I get in my chair, which is back there, you're going to see my cast. So I want to say that I'm going to do the best I can. So there are things that I can't do with my injured leg still, but I'm going to encourage you to do what you can do, as always. If there's something I can't do with my injured side, I might demonstrate it for the second time on the same side. So it might be a little bit confusing. I apologize for that. So you might see me doing something twice on one side, but not on the other side. So just kind of, we'll roll with the flow a little bit. And if anybody has questions, Sherry's gonna kind of monitor the chat, because I'm gonna step back and sit on my chair, which is gonna bring me far enough away that it's gonna be hard for me to see your questions right up front. So with that, this is not gonna be too graceful, you guys, but I'm gonna get up and get back to my chair. Okay, and here we are. Well, this feels kind of strange and familiar all at the same time. So it's been a while, and I know that many of you have a practice that you do at home. I hear about the breathing as a big part of it, the movements that we do with hands and feet, fingers and toes and all of that. And so for right now, what I'd like to do is focus on the breathing, because it's been a very stressful couple of months for us. We're still in isolation. We don't know, we have no idea when we're going to be coming back to, you know, I want to say normal, but I don't know about normal, but coming back to being able to gather at our beautiful senior center. I don't know when that's going to happen. So so there's a lot of unknown, and with that unknown is likely some anxiety. I know that, you know, people are having difficulty sleeping, people are having just difficulty being in isolation from other people. So our breath is the one thing we can control in any moment. And as many of you know, when we get anxious or upset or sort of overwhelmed with things, the first thing that happens is your breath becomes very shallow. So you just kind of breathe into this top part of your chest, and that doesn't oxygenate your body very well. So any aches and pains you have are going to be exacerbated by that. And the anxiety just kind of feeds on itself, you know, one after another. So let's start. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like you to get really comfortable in your chair. Hopefully you're in a place that's warm enough, cool enough, all that kind of stuff for yourself. And just have your feet on the floor. Now you can see I can't bend this leg here. So I'm just going to keep my leg extended, but I'm going to have my other foot on the floor. If you can bend your other knee, then by all means do that. And you can just kind of let your hands rest on your lap or on your knees. And I'm going to ask you to press into your sitting bones. Those are the two bones at the bottom of your backside that are on the chair right now. And you're going to lengthen through your spine. So imagine your spine getting nice and tall. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes right now. Just kind of close your eyes and bring your awareness into your breathing. Notice how the air is moving in and out of your body. Notice if you can feel breath moving in your right nostril and your left nostril, or perhaps it's just one. And notice if your breath is fast or slow, if it's shallow or deep. And anything else you notice about your breath right now. So perhaps the temperature of the air as you're breathing in and out. Maybe there's a fragrance or an aroma in your home. Maybe you can smell your breakfast that you had, or you're smelling coffee or tea or anything else in your home. Very familiar kinds of smells. And then let's begin to deepen the breathing. So I'm just going to ask you to breathe deeply into your belly and let that breath rise up into your rib cage and come all the way up to your collarbones. And as you exhale, imagine the breath leaving the same way. So your belly, your rib cage, and your collarbones, it's kind of like a balloon. On the inhalation, the balloon inflates. So your belly, your rib cage, your collarbones expand. And on the exhalation, it's like deflating the balloon. So the belly, the rib cage, the collarbones all deflate. So you're just moving in and out. It might be helpful to just visualize this expansion and contraction, really gentle expansion and contraction. And the slower and deeper you can breathe, the more likely you'll feel this expansion and contraction. Now, it might feel a little weird at first to really slow your breathing down. So we're going to take another step here, and we're going to add a count to the breath. So you can do this to yourself. You can do it in your head if you're in the room with somebody else, or if you're all by yourself, you can feel free to kind of count out loud. But I'd like you to breathe into a slow count of 4. And breathe out to a slow count of 4. Again, breathe in to a slow count of 4. And breathe out to a slow count of 4. We'll continue breathing in, and your count might be a little different than mine. So go with the count that you have in your own head. And the objective here is to balance the inhalation and exhalation. And that balances the sort of our resting stress level, if you will, right? So we're creating the right amount of tension in the breath right now. We're creating this count of 4 as we go in and count of 4 as we go out. The effect this has is directly on the nervous system. When we breathe in and out in a slow and controlled way, our minds start to focus on the breath. So you're counting and breathing. And with each of those inhalations, as you're counting to 4, imagine yourself expanding. And with each of the exhalations, again, as you're counting to 4, imagine your body just relaxing. So you might investigate tension in your arms, your neck, your shoulders. You might be breathing out and letting go of tension in your hips and your back, your legs, your feet. And continuing to count to 4 as you breathe in. I'm going to ask you now to count to 6 as you breathe out. So breathing in to a slow count of 4, breathing out to a slow count of 6. And that might take a couple of cycles of breath to get to that count of 6 to make it comfortable. So just do the best you can. Breathing in to a slow count of 4, breathing out to a slow count of 6. And as you're breathing out to your slow count of 6, I'm inviting you on that exhalation to engage your belly muscles and pull your navel back toward your spine. So it's like you're trying to squeeze your belly as tight as you can. And then when you're going to inhale, relax the belly and let it expand on the inhalation. So again, on the exhalation, whenever that is, you're counting to 6 and you're going to engage your abdominal muscles, pulling your navel in toward your spine. And on your inhalations, allow your belly to expand. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take just 2 more of these nice deep breaths in and out. Breathing in to a count of 4 and breathing out to a count of 6. And then let go of the counting of your breath. Let go of trying to expand or lengthen your breath in any way and just go back to your natural breath, whatever that is. Breathing in and breathing out in a way that feels natural and comfortable for you. And if you've had your eyes closed, you can let your eyes drift open. And I'm just going to turn my view a little bit. So I'm coming up here for just a second. Okay, great. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of work for the arms. So take your arms. Now this is kind of fun because you guys know when we're in class together, we're always shuffling the chairs back and forth, and hopefully if you've even got somebody in the room with you, you've got enough space here. So we have loads of space. So let's extend the arms way out in front. I'm sorry, way out to the sides, and we're going to turn the palms up, and I hope you can see me really well here. So we're going to squeeze and extend the fingers. So we're just doing some work for the fingers first. Breathing in and breathing out. And let your breath be nice and long and slow. And then the next time that you extend your fingers, we're going to turn the palms down and we're going to do the same thing. So squeeze and extend. All right. So there's just this nice little movement in your fingers. Notice if all the knuckles are working the same or if some feel a little different. Okay, and then next time you extend your hands, we're going to hold here and then turn your palms like you're saying stop on either side of you. So there's this like kind of pressing out through the heels of the hands, feeling a bit of a stretch in through here in the arms. And then we're just going to bring the fingers down and up. So we're working the wrists. My wrists are a little noisy this morning. I don't know about you guys, but this feels kind of good. I haven't done this for a bit. I've been so focused on doing leg and footwork that I think my arms and hands have not gotten the attention that they need. So then let's take the hands and circle them around at the wrists. Again, just breathing in and breathing out. And at some point, reverse direction. Great. Okay, and then let's bring the arms out again. One more time, turn your palms up. And let's make some light little fists here with the hands. So a nice light little fist. And you're going to engage all the muscles up here in your upper arms. And we're just going to bend the elbows and bring the fists to the shoulders and then extend. So we're breathing in and breathing out. We're just bending and extending the arms. Now keep your arm muscles, your upper arm muscles really engaged here. So don't let your upper arm muscles relax, even when you're extending. Good. And one more time, we're going to go in and then we're going to go up overhead. Now I know my hands are going to go off screen, but do what you can. Oh, look at that. You guys are doing great. So we're coming down and squeeze the shoulder blades together and go up and come down, squeeze shoulder blades. Keep breathing in and breathing out. So we're lifting and pushing up and pulling down. Couple more. Breathing in and breathing out. Great. Okay, and the next time that your arms come down, we're going to take the hands and just kind of rest them on top of the shoulders, and then we'll do something called a kayak, right? So some of you remember this. So we just kind of take the elbows up and around. We're working the shoulder joint in a little different way. I don't know how much of this kind of work you've been doing with your shoulders over the last couple of months. So just take it easy, especially if you're working with a shoulder injury or something that's a little sore this morning. And at some point, we're going to reverse direction. So we're going back around. Great. Okay, and then let's let the arms come all the way down by the sides, kind of shake things out a little bit. All right. So bring your arms right down by your sides and lengthen the arms like you're trying to touch the floor here. We're going to take the right arm and we're going to sweep it out to the side and all the way up. And I'm mirroring you guys. So this is really my left, but I'm calling it my right. And then we're going to come all the way down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale as you sweep the arm way up, and exhale as you bring the arm down. So go back to the right side, breathing in and breathing out. Going to the left side, breathing in and breathing out. And one more time on each side. So breathe in. Great. And again, breathe in and come all the way back down. Wonderful. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple of times. And then let's reverse direction. So go around the other way. All right. And then take your hands together in front of your chest and interlace your fingers. And when you interlace your fingers, I'm going to ask you to notice which thumb is on top. Okay, so that's your normal way. That's the way that feels comfortable for you. So you're going to take your hands now, take a deep breath in as you lengthen through your spine. And then as you breathe out, you're going to press your palms away and drop your chin down to your chest. So you're stretching that upper back a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep pushing out through the heels of your hands. Keeping your chin close to your chest. Let the muscles in the back of your neck relax. And with your next breath in, you're going to raise your arms up overhead, keeping the fingers interlaced. Come all the way up overhead. Get as tall as you can in your chair. So feel your spine getting nice and tall. Breathing in, breathing out. And then release your hands, sweep them all the way around and bring them behind your back. Now, when you get your hands behind your back, I'm going to show you here. So you get your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers again in that kind of normal way. So it feels kind of normal to you. And then however you're seated on your chair, you're going to bend your elbows and pull your shoulder blades together. I'll see if I can do this sideways a little bit. So you're pulling your shoulder blades together like that. Breathing in, breathing out. Great. Okay, and then we're going to release that and bring the arms all the way back around to the front. Once again, we're going to interlace the hands, and this time I'm going to ask you to do it the opposite way. So whichever is like your normal way, this is my normal way. So I'm going to uncross my fingers and recross the other way. So now this feels a little weird. It feels like I'm holding somebody else's hand here. So I'm just going to take my hands right up here and lengthen through your spine. So you're getting nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to press your palms away and drop your chin down to your chest. So same thing, we're pressing out through the heels of the hands. And you'll notice that you're stretching your fingers in a little different way because they're interlaced a little bit differently. So we're putting a little bit more stretch on some different tendons, some different muscles. We're stressing some of the joints in a different way, which is a good thing. We're breathing in and breathing out. Back of the neck is relaxed, head is relaxed. And with your next breath in, you're going to raise your arms all the way up overhead. Keep the fingers interlaced. That looks great, all of you that I can see on your screens. Breathing in, breathing out, getting taller. Feel how your rib cage expands so you can feel it like probably in the middle part of your ribs expanding and contracting as you do this. Great, and with your next exhale, you're going to release your hands, float them around behind your back, just like we did last time, and now interlace in that weird way, right? So not the normal way, but in that kind of strange feeling way. Bend your elbows a little bit, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, if you're leaning forward, see if you can sit up nice and tall. That's it. I see some beautiful posture on the screen in front of me. Breathing in, breathing out. Great. One more deep breath in, bring it right into the chest, right into the top part of your chest. And let it out as you release your arms. Great. Let's bring them back around and roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and around. Great. Okay, we're going to switch our focus a little bit here. So we've done some work for the upper body. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling nice and warmed up. I'm feeling like my shoulders and my chest are a little bit more open. So now let's switch to the feet. So I'm going to ask you to take your right leg, have your heel on the floor. So some of you might have shoes on. Some of you, oh, excuse me. Some of you might want to take your shoes off. Maybe some who haven't been comfortable with shoes off at the center are more comfortable with shoes off at home. So if you can, we're going to start just with the toes, squeezing and releasing toes. I'm pretty sure you can see me here. So if you can't see with my foot on the floor, And I'll just say this as we're squeezing and releasing toes, that the reason I can raise my leg like this is because I've been doing all the leg exercises that we do in chair yoga to strengthen these poor muscles that have been not used very much in the last couple of months. So I've been doing my seated chair yoga, especially these leg exercises. So important. I talk about quadriceps muscles and how important they are for mobility. And boy, it is apparent to me how important they are now. So let's start to point and flex the foot. So you're going to bring your heel to the floor and then your toe to the floor. Keep your leg extended now as best you can, right? So try not to have a bend in that knee unless you got pain in the knee, and then you'll want to give it a little bit of a bend so that you don't have some pain there. So we're tapping, we're breathing in, breathing out. And now we're going to move to a circling movement. So let's just circle that around. Now I'm going to put my foot on the floor because this is a lot of work for my leg on this side right now, and I can't really hold my leg up for that long. So you can see I have my heel on the floor, and that's fine to do. If you can raise it up, do that too. So whatever challenges you but doesn't hurt you, right? So let's reverse the direction of those little ankle circles if we can. Again, breathing in, breathing out. Okay. And then we're going to extend that leg again, have the heel on the floor. Now this one might be a little tricky, but I'm going to give it a try. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the leg to the right and to the left. So we're rotating the whole leg from the hip, from way up here, so that when you look at your foot, if your foot were the hands of a clock, it would be going from the 10 o'clock position to the 2 o'clock position, right? So you should feel that in maybe a little in the ankle. You might feel a little bit in the knee. Hopefully you're feeling a lot up here in the hip. This is getting some movement right up here in the hip socket. I've been sitting a lot more in the last couple of months than I normally do, and I notice that my hips get very tight from the sitting. So to counter whatever sitting you've been doing, this is a good way to kind of get that going. So we'll do just a couple more of these. Great, and then we're going to bring the toes straight up. So again, we're pressing out through the legs, so we're activating these muscles here. Now, the muscles above your knee, the quadriceps muscles, they come down and they insert into the top part of the bottom of your leg. So right under your kneecap is where they insert. So what we're going to do here is try and strengthen those muscles. So squeeze those muscles right up in through here as if you were pulling your kneecap up. Right, so you're getting that really strong. So you should feel these muscles right here in your thigh get nice and strong. Pull your belly in a little bit and sit up really tall. And if you're having trouble sitting up tall without some assistance, you can put your hands on your chair, whatever chair you're sitting on. And now we're just going to lift and lower that heel from the floor. So breathe in and breathe out as you lift and lower. And again, I'm going to do the best I can. I might not be able to do as many as you can on this side, because of what I'm working with here, but we're just going to do the best we can. I'm going to ask you to keep going. I'm going to take just a little rest because I have to rest these muscles. So you keep going, lifting and lowering, breathing in and breathing out. And I'm going to join you again. So we'll do like 3 more together. Now you don't have to lift really high to get the benefit. in the leg. And again, it's always a balance of what's a little bit uncomfortable, and that makes your muscles stronger. And you don't want to get to that place where it's painful, because that doesn't make your muscles stronger. That just makes you sore and makes your muscles kind of cranky. Okay, so the next time we lower down, we're going to pause there, relax that leg. Let's give that leg a little massage. So kind of come down into the muscles. You can come way down near the knee. I'm going to give my little knee a little massage here, right down into the bottom. I'm going to come all the way up, come right up into the hip too. Make sure you're still breathing while you're doing this, and that your breath is smooth and steady. Great. Okay, and then we're just going to relax that leg. I'm going to bend just a little bit. Let's see if I can get that on the floor. Okay, and we're going to extend the other leg. So for you guys now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be your right leg, but if you're on the different leg, that's absolutely fine. So extending this other leg, now we're going to squeeze and extend the toes, just like we did on the other side. And I think you can see that. Yep. Okay, so we're squeezing and extending toes, getting a little bit of work in there. So you might notice that this side feels a little different. Maybe your toes and your foot on this side don't feel the same as the other one. And that's really normal. You know, I think we think that our feet and our legs should be exactly the same strength, the same tension, the same flexibility. And that is just not the case. You know, we use our bodies in different ways. And so it's really normal to have things feel different. And that doesn't mean we have to change it and make them the same. We just have to honor what it is. So sitting up nice and tall, now we're going to move to pointing and flexing that foot. So now we're tapping the toes and then tapping the heel, breathing in and breathing out, trying to maintain a nice tall spine here. If it feels like a lot, again, you can always just kind of put your hands on your chair a little bit here. Yeah, good. And then let's start to circle at the ankle. So we'll kind of go around. Again, breathing in, breathing out, and reverse direction. So we'll go around the other way. And again, if this feels like too much, you can bring your heel to the floor. Now, you know, one leg might feel stronger, so it's okay to keep it lifted. One leg might need a little more love, I guess. So let's bring that leg back down to the floor. Okay. So now we're going to do that same rotation on this side that we did on the other side, where if you look at your foot, we're going to rotate from 10 to 2. So you're watching your foot, and I want you to feel that way up here in the hip. You might feel some in the ankle. You might feel some in the knee. You might even feel like a little kind of tightness or twisting or unwinding or whatever you want to call it here in the leg, anywhere from your ankle to your hip. But the main focus is way up here in the hip. This is where your thigh bone is rotating in the hip socket. So we're feeling that. We're getting all those beautiful muscles here in the upper part of the leg ready for some lifting. So the next time that your foot is straight up toward the ceiling, we're going to hold in that position. And once again, sitting up nice and tall, you might hold on to your chair. I'm going to hold on to my chair here as I do this. Pull your belly in a little bit and firm up these muscles in this thigh. So once again, your thigh muscles come down, your quadriceps muscles come down, and they go over your kneecap, and they insert way down here in the top part of the bottom of your leg. So when we firm these muscles up, it's like pulling that kneecap up. So we're really strengthening all those muscles. And now breathing in and breathing out, I'm just going to have you lift and lower that heel to the floor. So a few of these. Go nice and slow. And notice if you're lifting and your body is kind of moving at the same time, that means you're not using your leg muscles, you're using some of your back muscles. So see if you can keep your spine up tall and lift and lower the heel. So we're really trying to work these muscles here, get them nice and strong. These are muscles that help you go up and down the stairs easily. So this is really important to do that. So we're lifting and lowering, breathing in and breathing out. Let's try just a couple more. Great. Okay, and then we're gonna lower that heel back down, relax the leg. Let's give this leg a little massage as well, so you can just say thank you to those wonderful muscles for all the work they do. So coming way up, make sure you get way up here in the hip. You can get down into the leg, get down around the knee, even go down below the knee a little bit, go out to the sides a little bit. There we go. Great. And then if you'd like, you can bend that knee and bring that foot back down to the floor. Okay, so now I'm going to take my cushion off my chair because I think, oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it on because it's tied on. Sorry. So what we're going to do is scoot over to the right side of your chair if you can. Now, hopefully you all are in chairs without arms. I didn't do the setup in the beginning of class, and I wish I had mentioned that, but it's easier to do this without arms on the chair. Now, some of you might remember, we use the heel and the toe and we walk the leg out. I'm going super slow. I can do this, but I can't do it too fast with this leg. So we're gonna go out as far as we can, and then we're gonna do heel and toe and come back. And you can have a little bend in your knee as you do this. So we're going to do this a few times. Now, as you're doing it, see if you can maintain your breath. And you'll notice as you're doing this heel and toe movement with your foot, that all kinds of muscles might be waking up in your leg. So it might feel good. It might feel a little uncomfortable, but you're just going to do the best you can. And the next time that you get your leg out to the side, we're going to hold it there. So I have to just make a little adjustment, and you can make an adjustment as well. So you want to have your body positioned so that your thigh is, most of your thigh is off the chair, but you want to have your backside, your two sitting bones on the chair. Now let's have that heel. So we're on the right leg now. Have your right heel on the floor and lift your toes straight up toward the ceiling. So if you look down at your leg, your toes are going straight up at 12 o'clock position. Press down into your sitting bones and lengthen your spine. Notice if you've twisted your body in the same direction as your leg. I'm going to ask you to twist your body back toward your computer screen so you can see me here. Take your right hand and place it down here on your thigh. And as you inhale, take your left arm, sweep it all the way up overhead. As you exhale, we're going to bend to that right side. You can bend your left elbow, your right elbow, sorry, and come all the way over. Breathe in and come all the way up. Breathe out and bring that arm down. So once again, we have the right leg extended. We've got the right hand on the thigh. Inhale the left arm all the way up. Exhale, lean to the right. Beautiful. Keep both sitting bones on the chair. Breathe in as you come up. Breathe out as the arm comes down. So we're going to do this a few more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale as you lean into that right side. Breathe in as you come up. Breathe out as you come down. Let's do two more of these. Breathing in, lift and get as long and tall as you can. Breathe out as you lean over to the side. Lean as far as you can. Now that right leg is extended and those muscles are really strong, so they're supporting you. And this time as we come over, we're going to hold in this position. We're going to hold for a couple of breaths. If it's too much to have this left arm extended, you can have your hand on your shoulder, or you could even bring your hand back down to your rib cage if you wanted. I'm going to do it this way, and then we're going to turn the palm up toward the ceiling, and then see if you can turn and look up at your hand. All the while you're breathing in and breathing out. Next inhale, turn your head back to center. We're going to bring that arm down and we're going to come all the way back. Good. Let's shake out those arms a little bit. Okay. Now this right leg, we're going to keep it out to the side, but now we're going to bend the knee a little bit. So I'm going to give myself a little assist. So you'll notice that I don't have much of a bend here. This is all I'm allowed to do right now. So what I'd like you to do, if you can, is bend your right knee enough that your foot is directly underneath your knee. And so what I'll do is I'll show you on my left side what I mean. So this, if you can get your leg in this position, that's what I'd like you to do, but on the right side. So I apologize for switching back and forth, but I want to make sure I'm clear on what we're doing. So we've got this bend in the knee. We've got this bend in the knee, and spread your toes and place them down on the floor. So you got a nice wide stance here. Now, if your body has started to drift over to that right side again, you're going to twist back to the center. So you should feel a little bit of a stretch here on this inner thigh. We're going to take the right hand and place it down here on that leg. As we inhale, we're going to lift and lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the elbow and forearm down onto that right side. So keep this side, your left side, nice and open. Keep your right side open. So let me just show you what I mean. If I just lean into my right side, can you see how compressed I am here? I don't want to be in a compressed position with my spine. So instead, I start here with the hand on the leg, and then I lean over and keep that side of the spine open as well. So we're going to take the left hand, and we're going to place it on the shoulder. So we're not going up overhead this time. We're just going up to the shoulder. I'm going to keep that elbow lifted. Now, as you breathe in, I want you to bring your elbow back as far as you can, squeezing the shoulder blades together, open up through the chest. And as you breathe out, we're going to come forward with the elbow. And imagine you could touch your elbow to your knee. So breathe in, and we're going to rotate. Now you've got all the weight resting on your right elbow and forearm. So if you're holding yourself up and you're not putting weight into that right elbow and forearm, I'm going to ask you to do that now. So we want to keep the spine protected as we're doing this little bit of a twist. And we're breathing in and out. That is the most important thing you can do. If you do nothing else, if this just doesn't feel good to do this, just sit and breathe in and out. That's fine. And you'll catch up on the next thing we do. And one more time, we're just going to rotate down and rotate up. And we're going to hold here and breathe. And see if you can turn and look up a little bit. If that doesn't work for your neck, or you feel a little dizzy or lightheaded, just don't do that. Just have your head forward. And with your next exhalation, we're going to take that left hand down to the knee. Now don't sit up straight. We're going to come forward, circle over to the left, push into your left hand and come up that way. So that's a better way to work with the spine. Let's heel and toe this foot back. We're going to bring that foot right back next to the other one. And then scoot yourself to the center of your chair. And what we're going to do is just kind of place the hands on the lap. And I want you to close your eyes if that feels okay. And just notice what you feel, the difference you feel between your left side and your right side. So we're going to take a few breaths and really notice this. Notice the right side of your rib cage compared to the left side of your rib cage. Notice if you feel longer on that left side than you do on the right side. And notice your right leg and your left leg. If you feel a different length in that right leg than the left leg. If you can feel where you've stretched, where you've strengthened. Let's take a deep breath in together and we'll let it out with a sigh. And then if your eyes are closed, you can let them drift open. And now we're going to scoot over to the left side of the chair. Okay, so you want to have your leg kind of really close to the edge of the chair. Your right leg is going to stay in front. And now we're going to take that left leg and use the heel and the toe. Or if you have more than one toe, you're going to use all your toes and walk it out and then walk it back. It's hard to tell jokes with no audience that I can hear, right? So I don't know if this is landing with you or not. I'm going to pretend it is. Good. So we're just kind of going out to the left and then back to center. And again, I can feel my ankle, my knee, my lower leg. I can feel all kinds of things kind of activating when I do this movement. And the next time that you have your leg out to the side, I'm going to ask you to hold it here. So I'm going to ask you to bring it out so there's a bit of a stretch here. Now notice if your body is starting to drift in this direction, we're going to bring the body back to center so that we feel a stretch here. We're going to take this left leg and extend it out, have your heel on the floor and activate those thigh muscles. So we're really working those thigh muscles here today. So your toes are lifted up toward the ceiling. If you look at your foot, it's at 12 o'clock and the toes are reaching right up toward the ceiling. Good. And your body again is kind of facing forward. So if you imagine we're together in class, your leg is going out to the side and you're facing me here. So we're going to take the left hand, place it on the thigh, breathe in, breathe out, get that spine nice and tall. And with your next inhalation, you're going to take your right arm all the way out and up overhead. And as you exhale, let's lean into that left side. Breathe in as you come back up. And breathe out as the arm comes down. So we're just going to keep doing this, lengthening through the spine, coming up and over, breathing in and out. Yeah. Oh, look at all those arms waving. That looks wonderful, you guys. Nice long spines. Excellent. Couple more coming all the way up and over. Good. How about two more of these? So breathe in as you lengthen, breathe out as you lean to the side. Wonderful. And last time we're going to breathe in as we come all the way up, breathe out, and we're going to hold here and breathe. So breathing in, breathing out. If having your arm up like this is uncomfortable here, if you're having a hard time breathing or you feel like your heart rate is getting a little too high, bring your hand down to your shoulder or bring it down to your hip or to your ribs or wherever is comfortable. If you're okay with the arm up overhead, let's do that and turn the palm up toward the ceiling. Good. Reach out through the heel of your hand a little bit more. So if you're in this position, you might feel more of a stretch in through that right side. Good. Last time, breathing in and out, and then we're going to come all the way up and bring that arm back down. Good. Let's shake that out a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to bend this left knee and bring your heel so it's underneath the knee. So you can see on this side I've got a little difference than on the other side, and you might have the same thing depending on what's going on in your body. So you want to have your knee and your ankle kind of lined up as long as it's comfortable for you. Lift your toes and spread them out nice and wide, and then place your toes down on the floor. So that just gives you a little more surface area to connect your foot to the floor. So we feel a little more stable and a little more steady. Once again, if you notice that your body has drifted to the side like this, we're going to turn back to the center. So take your left hand now, place it on your thigh. And remember, when we bend over to that left side, we want to minimize the compression on the left side. We want to keep this side really lengthened. That's why I like to start with the hands here. So inhale, and let's take that right hand all the way up to the shoulder. So we're going to lift the elbow. Beautiful. Breathe in, breathe out. And then as we lean into that left side, just slide right down onto your elbow and forearm. So you'll see that you can maintain a nice open rib cage on the right side and the left side. Now, as you next inhale, sweep that elbow back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, we're going to rotate forward and down like you're trying to bring your elbow to touch your knee. So breathe in as you rotate up. And breathe out as you rotate forward and down. Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. So nice and slow, and make sure you have weight in your left elbow and forearm. So you don't want to be kind of hanging out here and making your spine do all the work, because this is a pretty intricate movement for your spine, and we don't want to challenge it by not supporting at all. Okay, we're going to do one more of these. As we come back this time, we're going to hold here and breathe. So see if we can open the chest, and only if it's comfortable for you, see if you can turn and look up at the ceiling a little bit, or at whatever's above you. And then we'll bring the head back down. Now take your right hand, place it on your right thigh. Remember, don't come up from the side. We're going to swipe forward. Press into that right hand and come all the way up that way. Wonderful, you guys. Let's heel and toe this leg back. So we're going to come back to our straight on position, right? So you've got your feet underneath your knees here, if that works for you, or if you need to have one foot a little more in advance or a little farther behind, that's okay as well. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of work now. We've worked the hands and the feet. We've worked the ankles, the wrists, the elbows, the knees, the legs. I think we've gotten most of the extremities we've done at least a little bit of work for. So we're going to work the spine. And many of you are familiar with the 6 movements of the spine and how essential that is for our health, for our ability to breathe in and out, for the brain to get all the communication it needs to do down to the rest of the body, and for the brain to get fed the blood and all of the nutrients that get up to the brain. So we need to keep the spine nice and long. Yogis talk about the spine being the fountain of youth. And that's a really interesting concept, because if you think about your spine, if you're sitting like this a lot, the communication between your brain and your body and the blood flow and the lymphatic flow and all of that is a little more compromised. When the spine is nice and tall, it's got a nice pathway to send all this stuff. So there's 6 essential movements of the spine, and they are bending forward and backward. They're bending from side to side and then twisting. So we're going to do some forward bending. Let's bring the feet a little wider apart. So I've got maybe, I don't know, 18 inches between my feet right now. That feels kind of comfortable for me. Oftentimes when we're going to hinge forward from the hips, if the feet are really close together, it can feel a little bit tight in the hip area. If I have my feet a little bit wider apart, I feel like I have more ability to hinge there. So for right now, what I want you to do is take your hands and place your hands right at the hip creases, right? So like the little finger and the ring finger side of your hands are on your thigh, and then like the saddle part here of your thumb and your forefinger are up on the hip part. So if you place your hands there, what we're going to do is we're going to hinge forward from that place. So as you come forward, I want you to feel that space getting a little bit smaller. And then as you come back, you're going to feel it widen a bit. So let's breathe in and out as we come forward and back. Keep your spine nice and tall if you can, right? So we're not coming forward like this. We're coming forward with the spine really straight. Now I might be moving more quickly or more slowly than you, and that's okay. So we're just kind of coming forward and back. I can feel a big difference in my right hip and my left hip. My injured leg has a little bit more tightness in that side. And isn't that interesting, right? So it's always interesting to notice those differences and to know that that'll change. So just a couple more times. This is forward flexion, and then we're coming back. Great. And as you lean back, you might feel your belly muscles activate a little bit here. Great. And last one, I lied, we're doing one more. I know I said 2, but we're actually doing 3. And then we're going to come back to kind of that center place. So we did a lot of forward bending. We didn't do a lot in extension yet. So we're going to do that now. So if you want to bring your feet a little closer together, whatever's comfortable for you. Right now, I feel like a few inches between my feet feels better than side by side. So let's do some extension. Now, extension is not our natural kind of desire. Flexion like this is our natural desire. It just feels, it feels more natural because that's how we're born, how gravity kind of pushes down on us. So we've got to work at extension. So what I'm going to have you do is on your inhalations, you're going to sweep your arms up, squeeze your shoulder blades together, bring your chest forward. And as you exhale, just bring your hands back down and lengthen through your spine. So as you breathe in, lengthen and lift and squeeze the shoulder blades, a bit of a back bend. And as you exhale, you're going to keep your spine long and just bring your hands back down to your thighs. So let's do this a few times. Now we're not bending forward at all. So when you release your hands, you don't want to slump forward. You want to keep up nice and tall. So we'll do like 3 more of these. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. If it's comfortable, you can lift your head a little bit. Last one, inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Rest your hands. Let's just take a moment. If you want to close your eyes, you can do that. Or if you just want to bring your awareness into your body, notice if your body feels a little different from just this moving forward and moving backward. If you feel something in your spine or your ribs, your belly, your back, your chest, your shoulders, could be in your hips. And then if you've had your eyes closed, you can open them up. And we'll do a little bit of side bending now. So we've done forward bending and backward bending, and now we're going to do some side bending. So take your right arm off or hand off your lap. Let your arm hang down by your side. And we're going to start by, keep your left hand on your lap. We're going to reach over like we're trying to pick up something off the floor, but try not to come forward. See if you can keep your body in one plane, right? So as we lean into that right side, it's like we're trying to pick up something right in line with the hip, right? In other words, we're not going forward like this. We're going right over to the side. So let's do that just a couple more times so you get the hang of that. Good. Keep breathing. And if you haven't been breathing, this is a good time to start breathing and come back up. Great. Let's place that right hand on the lap. We're going to take the left hand and bring it out to the side here. Good. And with your next exhale or inhale, we're going to lean into that left side. Again, like you're reaching down to the floor. Feel your spine just kind of gently moving into that left side as you breathe in and out. Great. Let's do 2 more of these. Keep your spine up nice and tall. So try not to stay in that leaning position. So when you come back up, you're really straight, okay? Great. And because I lost count because I was talking, we'll do just 1 more. Great. Okay, hands on your lap. So let's take a couple of breaths in and out. And now notice if you feel something different on the right side and the left side here. Okay, so we've done forward bending and backward bending. We've done side to side bending, and now we're going to do a little bit of twisting. And the most important thing to remember when you're twisting, before you twist, is that you want to twist from a lengthened place in your spine. So you don't ever want to be in this position and try and twist. This is the position that a lot of people get into trouble with their back, right? So I'm not thinking about it. I see something on the floor over there that I want, so I just bend and I twist, and oh, then I can't straighten up and it kind of hurts. As opposed to coming into this really lengthened place in my spine, I can twist and bend and come over that way. So let's lengthen through the spine as you press down through your sitting bones, reach up through the crown of your head, feel yourself nice and tall. Now, I don't know what kind of chair you're working with, but if you have a low back on your chair and you can reach around and grab hold of the back of that, you can go ahead and do that. If you don't have that set up with your chair or your arm, you can just kind of hold on to the side or the bottom of the chair. I'm going to take, that's on the right side, sorry. We're going to take the left hand and place it on the outside of that right knee, and you're still facing me, so you're not twisted quite yet. We're going to lengthen through the spine as we breathe in, and then as we breathe out, turn your head to the right, turn your shoulders, your upper back, your neck, your mid back. See if you can twist all the way around. Breathe in, breathe out. And now to unwind, turn your head first. Turn your head right back toward me, and then unwind your shoulder and your upper back, your mid back, your lower back. Let go of your chair and your leg. And we're going to go right into the other side. So take your left hand, place it on either the back of your chair or the side of your chair. Take your right hand and place it here. Now, if you're already twisted, come back around. We haven't twisted quite yet. Press into your sitting bones. Lengthen through your spine as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to start with your head first. So turn your head first to the left, and then your neck and your shoulders, your upper back, your mid back, your low back. Twist as far around as you can, breathing in, breathing out. As you're in this position and you're breathing in and breathing out, just notice how your body expands and contracts. So it's a little different than when you're just in a regular seated position. So next inhalation, we're going to start again with the head. So turn your head back to center, and then your shoulders, your upper back, your mid back, your low back. Release your hands, rest them on your thighs. Let's take a breath in together and let it out with a sigh. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes. I'm going to do a little meditation here. So if you want to sit a little more comfortably in your chair, please make whatever adjustment you need. And if it's okay to have your eyes closed here, you're just going to listen to my voice. I'm going to guide us in a little meditation here. So let's refocus on the breath. It's where we started our practice here this morning. So refocusing on the way the air is moving in and out, noticing the temperature of the air as you breathe in, the temperature of the air as you breathe out. Noticing if your breath is fast or slow, if it's shallow or deep. So just paying some close attention to the breath. And as you pay attention to your breath, allow it to slow down a bit. And as your breathing slows, envision yourself outside on a beautiful warm day. The sun is shining. And the temperature is just perfect, whatever perfect is for you. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. The sun isn't so bright or like kind of burning you. The sun is like just the right brightness. Maybe there's even a little cloud, or maybe you're under a little bit of a tree, so you're in the shade. But whatever feels perfect for you. And as you visualize this nice, lovely, sunny day, feel your body relaxing. Imagine you're lying on the ground. Maybe you're lying on the grass. Maybe you're lying on some sand. Maybe you have a nice cushion out there. You've got a cushion on the ground. But you can feel the earth underneath you. As you breathe in and out, notice what it feels like to be supported by the earth. Feel how it contours to your body. And see if you can almost feel an expansion and contraction of the earth underneath you. Earth is our home. We are made of all the same elements that are in the earth. And know that no matter what is going on in the world, in our society, in our country, on our planet, anything that's going on with us humans, Earth is there to support us if we just pay attention, if we just slow down. Feel yourself being supported. Feel your breath moving in and out. Feel your body relaxing. And know that there's nothing you need to do in this moment. You don't need to think about anything. You don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to do anything. All the thinking and worrying and doing, you can pick that up in a few minutes. But for right now, just let that go. Just be here in this moment of breathing, this moment of virtual connection with each other, this moment of virtual connection with the earth. There's nothing more important in any given moment than the breath. We can live without food for weeks. We can live without water for days. But we cannot go more than a few minutes without breath. Breath is essential for everything. Without it, nothing is possible. So this meditation on breath is about honoring that most vital thing that you do. And it is the thing that you can control. So as we were talking at the beginning of our class, if you're feeling a little anxious, a little overwhelmed, sad, or depressed, just sitting with your breath, watching the body, watching how you can slow it down, has a very calming effect on your nervous system. And it changes your perception of whatever is causing you worry. Changes your relationship to that worry. Take your right hand to your heart and cover your right hand with your left. So you've got both hands on your chest. And as you breathe in and out, see if you can feel your chest rising and falling. Feel your breath moving in and out. We'll take a breath in together and let it out with a sigh. Ah. And then if you'd like, you can take your hands together in an expression of gratitude, whatever that feels like to you. And for those of us who are on screen, maybe raising your eyes and just sort of giving a little nod to the others that are out there. Perhaps you can just kind of hold them in your heart